This is the Real Talks with Sam. Talks with Sam, NMOSD version. So, what I wanted to come on here and do is I want everybody to be comfortable with being who you are. It took some time for me to be comfortable with who I am. So I wanted to share certain points or parts of me that are very vulnerable. Hence the oxygen machine. Never mind the nails. I have done other videos and people came for me for my nails. Now they probably were just trolls, but this is bigger than just a troll situation. So right now, I've had the oxygen. I use it sparingly. I use it when I'm very active because of what's happened in the past. At one point in time, I was diagnosed with pneumonia and COVID at the same time. So when that happened, there was a situation where, your lungs are battling for their life. And so for me, it's been over a year, and when I'm exerting myself or I'm doing a lot, I have to have the oxygen on. Now, I'm at home right now, so even when I'm doing things around the house, I have to have this oxygen on. So I wear this to show and to share with others that it's okay. Not the cutest thing in the world, but hey, it's breathing life into you. You're utilizing it. It's there for a purpose, so utilize it. So I'm going to take it off now because I'm sitting. I'm in a comfortable position. I'm not moving around a lot. And it makes a lot of noise. But just know that my handy helper is here to give me extra oxygen when I need it. So I'm going to turn it off now. And I'm going to go ahead and go into my video, which is an extension of the podcast. So the podcast is Talks with Sam, Living Life with NMOSD, meaning living life, people who have been diagnosed with Neuromyelitis Optica Spectrum Disorder. We're going to have special guests come on and they're going to tell their stories. But we're going to start with my story first. And it's going to be an extension of not only those with NMOSD, but other autoimmune illnesses that are rare that we've never heard about. And so we're excited to have people excited about coming on to this podcast, Talks with Sam, to share their stories, right? But we're going to start with Sam first. Hi, my name is Samantha, and I was diagnosed with Neuromyelitis Optica Spectrum Disorder. Several names. The original name is Devic's disease. Then it went to NMO, Neuromyelitis Optica. Then it went to NMOSD, Neuromyelitis Optica Spectrum Disorder. So here we are today. For me, I was diagnosed in 2016. So just to backtrack over the story timeline, 2015, I don't know, October, November, me, some friends, we were doing the vision board thing. So my vision board was all set 2016. It was gung ho, ready to go. I have my financial section laid out to a T. I have my romance section, who I wanted, Mr. Right, what he looked like. My physical section, what I looked like, physically fit, in shape, eating healthy, all those good things. And then my career section. For some reason, I thought, okay, I want to be a motivational speaker. That's what I had on my vision board. I want to talk about when, even though at the time I had no idea of what motivation I was going to speak about, not a clue. I just knew that that was something I wanted to do. Okay, so that was November, December. Fast forward December. I'm in Jamaica having the time of my life. Ooh, festive. Oh, the people there were, oh, the food was exotic. And we were bringing in the new year in Jamaica. Everything was wonderful. Made it through that. Made it all the way back home. January. January seemed just fine. However, in January, I started to feel a little ill. Well, let me back this up a little bit. Before I started to feel ill, a friend of mine and myself, we had went out to a club. Now, I always wore high heels. So we're at this club. We're getting ready to enter into the club. And so, the sidewalk have cracks and all of those types of things. At the time, when they say hindsight is 2020, it really is. At the time, it seemed like my heel might have gotten caught into the crevices of the sidewalk and I fell. Months later, when I found out other things, that probably was not really what happened. So, anyway, at the club, fell. I'm out. I'm embarrassed. I don't want to get up. It's not a lot of people outside. However, still, I laid there for a minute. They said, well, do you want us to call the paramedics? I said, not really. They said, well, if you don't get up, we're going to call the paramedics. So I got up. Went home. We didn't stay at the club. Went home. Several weeks went by. I started to become, it was gradual. I was starting to feel sick gradually. I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't hold anything down. Water couldn't hold it down. I was so sick. I had two smaller children at the home at the time. I was so sick. I had to have my mother come to care for my younger children, get them off to school, fix them food, and help me, obviously. So, here's when things really started to go a different route. Not only could I not hold food down, one day I had to go to the restroom. So I'm in a small apartment. I go from my bed to the bathroom, not far at all. I sit down. I know I gotta pee because I feel it, right? I sit down. I'm trying to dispel urine. Nothing was happening. And I thought, well, that's weird. So I said, okay, well, guess I don't gotta use the restroom as much as I thought I had to. So I get up and I proceed back to my bed. Right when I got to the foot of my bed, bam! I fell. One of my legs gave out right at the foot of the bed, but I'm still not really putting two and two together because I was able to get enough strength to get up onto the bed and get back into the bed. However, my mind just started saying something not right. You became sick. You can't hold anything down, not even water. You went to try to use a restroom. Nothing would come out. You go back to your bed. You fall all of a sudden. Something not right, homegirl. So my mother, super Christian, right? She's on the phone with her super Christian friend. Now, don't get me wrong. If that's what you believe in, by all means. But anyway, she's on the phone with her friend. They tell me just stand up and start praising God. Just start thanking God. You can walk and everything is fine. Now, I'm the first one to give God his praise. But God also put people, doctors, on earth for a reason, right? Everybody's here for a reason. And so now, as much as I believe or want to believe in supernatural healings, I also believe in God put doctors here for a reason. And so at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I need to go to the hospital. I need some immediate care, some upfront care. So I asked her, I said, well, I think I need to call the paramedics and go to the emergency room. What do you think? I said, I can call them or you can call them. What do you want to do? She said, my mother, she said, you can call them. I said, okay, well, I'm going to call them. And I did. And they came and I gave them all of the incidences as to what happened, as to what brought us here or brought them here today. They immediately strapped me in. I lived in an apartment up a flight of maybe 15 stairs. They strapped me in. They whisked me off to the emergency room. And so I go to the emergency room. We're sitting there. I'm in triage area. Bye. Have fun. Be safe. All right. We're in the triage area. I'm in the room. All of a sudden, it's really hard to explain. But from my toes up to my waist, I became paralyzed. So as I'm in there waiting for the doctors to come, that happened. And so my brain is telling my legs or my feet to move or to kick, and it was not happening. So I figured, wow, I'm like, that's weird. Needless to say, I was admitted to the hospital. So these are steps that happened to me. Let me bag all the way up. I skipped a whole lot. So when I came back in January, on the inside of one of my thighs, the left thigh, I was having like some kind of burning sensation inside my thigh. From there, I went to the doctor several times trying to see what the problem was. This was all before I went home and gave up, went to the restroom, couldn't use it, had to call the paramedics. My apologies. So, when you memorize a story and you tell it so many times, sometimes you kind of forget. So, bag the story up. Yeah, I was having some kind of pain inside my thigh. We went to the doctor several times. They was misdiagnosing me. That's when I gave up and said, forget it. And my health started to decline. From there, couldn't hold anything down. Went to the restroom, couldn't use the restroom. Came back, called the paramedics, wound up in the hospital. They did a lot of tests. They did an MRI, so back up to speed now. They did an MRI, they did a lumbar puncture where they took fluid from the spinal and they sent it off to the Mayo Clinic. So at this point, okay, they sent that off. Came back, I can remember, young Asian doctor comes in. He tells me I have something that's called Devic's disease. That's the original name for NMOSD. Why they changed the name, I don't really know. Never really researched it. I'm sure the reason why is out there. I just don't know it. Come back, he says you have Devic's disease. I'm like, who? What? Who? What is that? Now, Devic's disease, that's the original name. I think it's a doctor named Devic something or other. Forgive me for not knowing. So in any case, I don't know what made me ask this doctor this, but I asked him, is it worse than MS, multiple sclerosis? He said yes. That whole room went dark. Now, mind you, I really don't know much about MS. I just know it's something serious. And you mean to tell me what I have is worse than MS? I'm just like, ooh. So that's my story with that. I was diagnosed February 2016 with Devic's disease, commonly known today as NMOSD, Neuromyelitis Optica Spectrum Disorder. Optica meaning eyes. People can go blind from this autoimmune disease. Some can regain their vision. Some get paralyzed, which was my case. From the waist down, I was paralyzed. Went through a lot of physical therapy. I was away from my home 4 months. My children. I was at 2 different hospitals getting treatment. And then I went to a skilled nursing facility where they were there to help me with occupational therapy, light physical therapy, and then I went to a full-on physical therapy facility with high hopes that I would leave there walking and back to my normal self. Now, when you talk about not being able to see the forest for the trees, when you're in it, you don't see the forest for the trees. I remember asking my neurologist if I would ever be able to walk again. His answer was, he don't know. Everybody's body is different. But the statistics of the disease says 1/3 will recover partially, 1/3 won't recover at all, and 1/3 will recover. That was the statistic. Now, me, so very grateful. I feel like I feel in the category or the lane of those who recovered fully. Only because I went from not being able to walk to being able to walk. However, you still have the pain, you still have the residual issues associated with this. You can still have the weakness. It's just like your body gonna do what it wants to do. If you overexert yourself one day can take a week, maybe 2 weeks. depending on the person, to recalibrate and to get back in order and together in order to do other things. So it's a nasty disease. And I feel for those, we are warriors because you have to be very strong to deal with this. And for those of you who have people who have stood by you and support you, you're blessed. Many of us have people that have fallen by the wayside. They just don't want to be bothered because they feel like we're going to be too needy. And they don't want to be bothered. Or they don't want to see us in that arena. Especially if you're someone who's always used to doing for everybody. And now you are on the side of a fence to where you can't anymore. So anyway, so that was my story. I was diagnosed in February 2016 with NMOSD. I turned to YouTube. I wanted to find videos of real time people who have experienced what I'm experiencing, but there was no real time videos. There were bits and pieces. So that's why I wanted to make my channel around those who've been diagnosed with NMOSD, where we can have real candid conversations. People that are newly diagnosed have somewhere to come to get information about, ask questions, see other people's stories, see the triumphs, and just have some motivation and some inspiration and transformation in their lives. And I really want people to know that it is not a death sentence. For me, I really, really don't focus on it. I try to focus on positive things for the most part. And I want anybody that comes across this channel to know that there are some things positive. But this is real life. And I don't want anybody to be delusional about what this means. But I just do want you to know that it can get better. Some people have healed, regained vision. Some people have healed, regained their abilities to walk. Even if you have not been in a position to regain your ability to walk, there are plenty of organizations that have a lot of activities that support us, that will support you. So just know that you're not alone. But I wanted this channel to be here to support people who are newly diagnosed, or if you're a caregiver and you just at your wit's end, you just don't know what to do. We are here to support you. We're here to answer questions. We're here to point you in the right direction as much as we can to the best of our abilities. And I love me. I love this channel. I've just done so many different things. And I'm pleased to know that people have signed on to come on here and tell their stories. So subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up so that it gets out there. So for people who are looking for a community, a place of support where they can hear other people's journeys with this autoimmune illness and other autoimmune illnesses or disabilities as a whole, that's what this channel is for. So again, give the video a thumbs up. I've shared my story from beginning to end. A lot of the stories are similar. Some people just woke up, was completely paralyzed. It does not discriminate. That's what we want you to know. It don't discriminate. But we're here to support you. I'm glad that I have this channel. I'm glad that I have the people wanting to support, to tell their story, because it's just going to help those who come behind us in real time. That was so important to me. In real time. People want to know, what are you doing? How are you having support? Are you going to these functions? Are there meetup groups? So if you're somewhere in a certain state and you guys have meetup groups, please leave it in the comment section. If you come onto the platform, talk about that so that people know where you are and they know how to contact you. So I love you guys. We are warriors for sure. And I'm here. And I'm going to post this video. And we're going to start a whole podcast. And we're going to let it be known. These are the faces of NMOSD. You know, these are just the faces. So we're going to put more faces, okay? I'll see you guys in the next video. Thumbs up. Decent comments in the comment section. Nothing disparaging. If you don't have anything good to say, please don't leave it here. Don't leave it on this channel. Okay? This is all about positivity. Moving forward. Having a great life. We already have enough challenges as it is. We don't need the extra. Okay. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Okay. Bye.